So Elias, thanks for being here. Thanks for taking the time to chat with us for a little bit. Yeah, welcome to the interview for Lado Oscuro.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Here.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. In my home, in my remodeled music room / bar.
Nice, nice. Is it more a bar? What do you drink there more than you play guitar, or what?
Right now I'm drinking just the water. So
we'll never know.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sober.
All right. All right.
I have kids.
All right. Good. Cool. So we are here mainly to talk about your new album, Acoustic Adventures. It's a 2-volume album from what I hear. So the first part has just been released. There's gonna be a second part to be released like in October, something like that.
I'm not sure actually, because it has been changing because of all of these things that had happened in the world and in our record company being changed a bit. So, but yeah, I think so.
All right.
Later, at least.
Yeah, so you kind of went from nuclear to atomic fire. That's like guys from nuclear as well, right? Yeah.
Yes, that is true. And we are being really happy about that, and we are taking good care of. So.
All right, that sounds good. Sounds like a good movement then.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so yeah, I also hear that it was supposed to be released last year. So you have this album ready, like you had it for a long time already, right?
Yeah, it was 2 years ago when the lockdown started and the pandemic. So all of our shows were cancelled, and we knew that we have a lot of time. So why not spend the time in the studio? And we went to the studio, and basically, we had a record deal as well on that point. But I think we spent at least 3 weeks in the studio recording, and stayed in the studio and slept there, and all in the same room and the same studio. So it was intense. But in the weekends we got to get home and so on. But but we recorded, I suppose, one song per day, and Tony sang the songs later. And we spent a lot of time arranging the songs.
Oh, really?
Again, and I think, well, now we had proper time. We had no shows at all, and we could focus on the being in the studio.
All right. Yeah, I thought that. So basically, you rearranged these acoustic versions, and then you went on the Acoustic Adventures tour, or was it the other way around? Because I thought, this got the live versions, and now they just basically recorded that.
That is true, actually. I think maybe half of the songs that we recorded, we played those songs live. So the arrangement, they were quite okay, just to go and record them. But then maybe half of the songs, we never had played them acoustic. So you are right.
Yeah, all right. Cool. It's also surprising that for me, some of the faster songs, so Rest of the Sun Belongs to Me, the first single was like, super power metal song, turned into a very different thing. Like the arrangement really worked.
Yeah.
And when I went to listen to the album, like I said, let's see what these guys did with like Wolf and Raven or Don't Say a Word. I expected like something more, low tempo, like more, chill. And it's basically the same silence version, but just with acoustic instruments. Like, how do you decide which songs to do, like keep faster, and which ones to change a little bit more?
Well, that is a good question. I don't have the answer, maybe, but we tried to create an atmosphere or a mood for each song, and basically we had time before the studio, maybe a month. We were at home, everybody was at home, so we had time to think. And when we get together in the studio, we realized that we have basically quite similar these like feeling to the songs. So
interesting. So it just happened.
Yeah, I think so. A lot of the songs were we were on the same page with the guys, and maybe a few songs were just beginning to shape in the studio, or the version of the song. Yeah, but there's a lot of different approaches. You are right about that too.
Tony said in a recent interview also that he had done like 15, 17 arrangements, and you should use like 2 or 3 of them because he was coming up with some crazy guitar ideas that,
But no, I think yeah, we were listening to Tony's arrangements, and there were some really good ones, and also maybe some of those arrangements maybe felt a bit strange, or yeah, for us, I think, as a band, as we play together. So we felt like now we don't, maybe possibly we don't sound as a band together. So yeah, but it's always difficult to arrange the song so that it feels like and also sounds like as we are one band, rather than just playing each like instruments.
So far you released the lyric video for The Rest of the Sun, and a very, very cool video for the sake of revenge. Will there be more singles for this volume? Are you gonna just leave it there and come some more for the next volume?
Yeah, I think so. At least I haven't heard anything, so it's always, yeah, but I think so, and that's it. And yeah, but the video was really cool to participate in as well, even though we have small parts. But it was nice to.
Yeah. So it was filmed in Kemi, I hear. Or
yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Was it? I think you were like just in a t-shirt. Was it really cold to film?
Yeah. Yes, it was. We didn't have to spend too much time outside. Just go from the warm cabin into the woods and run back. So, but of course for Tony it was a little bit. But Tony had a jacket on. So
yeah, I saw you were just like in a t-shirt with like a torch.
Yeah.
That must have been fun. All right. And did you have like to wait for it to be snowy? Could you plan ahead, or how does that work? Or is it always like that in Kemi in winter?
I think in winter time it's always like that in Kemi, but I think first idea was something different, so that included maybe a boat or something, that Tony could row a boat or something, but then
everything's frozen.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, but yeah, it's always like that in Kemi.
So. Right. Must be nice. The album feels a lot like a live album, and I heard that was kind of intentional, kind of what you did also with Talview. So how is that different from producing like regular albums, like the usual, or how you used to do in other albums? Is it more fun, more challenging?
I think it was basically the same thing. Right. So in the morning we wake up and we decide what song we are starting to try to record, and then we maybe rehearse it once more, and then we just play it, and it's been recorded, and then we listen to it and decide if it's working for us or not, and then if the drums are fine, then we maybe record bass and the guitar, or some of the guitars and bass and keyboards or piano this time, maybe again, and try something different. And then when we are satisfied, maybe I played and Henrik plays some solos or leads in the evening, and then.
So you do, in that time you did like the bass rhythm and stuff, and also the overdubs, like extra guitars and.
Then yeah, in the evenings we played overdubs usually.
All right, yeah, very long. Sounds like a very long day.
Yeah, there's maybe 12 hours. 12-hour days maybe. Yeah, but we can go straight to bed, upstairs in the studio. So it's easy that way.
It's also so. Yeah, I hear that. I mean, it must be intense to record an album like so fast and so in a very intense way. But it must be healthy also. Like the other way is like you spend months recording things and going back to studio many times. So I guess that's, I mean, it's just different ways of doing it. But yeah, you just in a few weeks you just are over with it and it's finished.
Yes, that is true, and you are totally empty when you come back home and like empty shell. So yeah, it is true. But I think touring is more stressing, yes, not maybe more stressing, but intense, as you said, and compared to touring, that's just sitting in the studio and play a little bit. So it doesn't involve any traveling or anything like that. So.
And there's a sleep schedule.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, talking about touring, next up is basically South America. I think there's Finland, Israel, and then South America, and then back to Europe for the festivals. So fingers crossed, I guess. I hope you can do all of that.
Really hoping to make that happen.
Yeah, I know people are waiting for that. Things are being postponed and all, but yeah, hopefully you can make it and have some fun and get back to real life.
Yes.
Cool. And after that, are you like hitting back the studio, working on a new album? What's the plan?
At some point, we of course have to go back to the studio, and I think Tony has had time to compose new songs also during this 2-year time.
Yeah.
So yes, hopefully. But first we have to do some touring.
Time to play live. Hopefully you can do it. All right. Talking about like the next album and next like direction, I guess. Also, in a recent interview, Tony said that he wasn't like quite. I don't think it's convinced the word, but he wasn't. He expected something different of the final mix of Talvio. Like he said, oh, I expected it to be like happier, or in his mind it should be happier and faster. But he says it turned out kind of gloomy, like moody and dark, and how do you feel about that? Do you feel the same? For me, it's a very...
Yeah, I think the overall sound of the album is quite dark. So even though there's some happier stuff, I don't know, but yeah, I think I don't know the reason for that. It just happened. It's just...
Yeah, I think that, I don't know, but when I listen to it, it's like, I think it's more about the sound of like the sound design of the album than the songs, because there are some songs that are really kind of uplifting in their like the compositions. So it's more about how it sounds than...
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I think so too. I don't know the reason for that.
All right. Do you look up to the mixing engineers and stuff like in Finbox? Are you doing, or where are you doing that?
No, no. We have been recording the past maybe 3 albums in Studio 57. It's our bass player's studio. So,
do you leave that sound design? Do you participate in that? How does?
Yeah, of course, we always participate, and we have been doing these albums by ourselves as well. the latest albums. And now on the latest album, we used our sound guy, Mikko Tegelman, who's mixing our live shows nowadays. So he was sort of like producing us in the studio, and he had some opinions as well. But yeah, and he's really good. Maybe that's part of the reason why it sounds a little bit different. And but he has another task as well. So in the studio, he's like a referee for us, so that we wouldn't fight too much.
All right. He makes sure that no low kicks. And
Yeah, exactly. He has the whistle like this.
Yeah. All right. So I guess then, are you focusing then, or maybe we can expect that the next album is gonna be more like back to the roots, or trying to get closer to the previous sound, as from what Tony said, or yeah, how you're feeling about that?
Well, I don't know. I think that would be would not be a bad idea, maybe. So, but I don't know if we are ever going back to Ecliptica kind of stuff or something like that. But maybe go back to something like Stones Throw Her Name or something. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So how do you feel about, so I think Sonata has been evolving a lot and changing a lot, but still there's obviously, and luckily you are like obviously true to yourselves always.
Yeah.
Besides that, there's also like a Sonata spirit that's always there. There's always, how the music sounds, like the spirit is the same, at least for me. So that's very cool. But so how do you feel besides that about like the faster, do you like more the faster songs? Do you, it's just the same for you?
Well, I like to, it doesn't matter if it's fast or slow or ballad or anything like that. I usually like all Tony's songs, but of course when we tour a lot, maybe some of the songs start to feel a little bit tiring. But it doesn't matter if it's fast or slow. It's about the song usually. But I love to play like the classic Sonata songs, Full Moon and those kind of things. And maybe Tallula also, okay.
Very nice song, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's and it's always nice to bring new songs to the set list. But usually it takes a little bit time to start to enjoy the new songs, because we have to get some repetitive, like play them 100 times before it starts to feel like that.
I feel like, yeah, I feel that. Cool. All right, so now let's switch a little bit in the last few minutes to the guitarist questions.
Okay.
So first one, how do you approach writing solos for Sonata, or in general? Do you think about it first? Do you just improvise over the backing music? And how do you, I mean, you've been doing like many albums. What do you do in order like to not repeat yourself, or you just don't care about that? So yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. Usually when I get to the point to playing or start to think about the solo, I've been hearing the song and played the song, maybe recorded already, and it starts to be familiar for me, and I have time to think it, maybe for weeks. And yeah, I usually also improvise on the song, on the backing track, and then I try to think about the melody, the vocal melody, and then can I get something out of the vocal melody to the solo, and then I start to record it, and then I'm listening to it, and I usually sleep on it as well. So next morning I listen to it, and if my ear doesn't like some part, I will think, it again, and I do that until my ear is happy, so to speak.
So it's really an iterative process of many. Doing.
I think the main thing is to make it catchy. For the listener, and then usually I try to think about some licks to the solo as well. Maybe it's a sweep or tapping or anything like that, but I try to include those elements to the solo. So I think about the melody and some like guitarist stuff as well. So.
Just make it a little bit faster and stuff. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So second guitarist question. Have you tried or played with some of these newer like amps, simulators, plugins and things? Or do you still prefer just to keep everything analog and real in a way? Have an opinion on that?
Well, in the studio I use real amps. I have Engel amp and my old Mesa Boogie. I'm looking at them right now. But playing a live show, I use digital preamp stuff. It's more preamp something. I can't remember.
I think I saw that in Masters of Gear or something like that.
So it's much more easier to carry them around on tour, and basically it's quite cheap. And I have two of them, so I can get the stereo sound and effects, and it has quite good sound, I think. And if it gets broken, it's not too expensive to replace. So
do you take that around when you are when going to South America, or you just always take the same equipment, or do you?
Yes, we before I think we rented some amplifiers as well.
I think when you played Uruguay, I remember the Mesa Boogie is there, and probably you didn't rent them there.
Yes, and but we had some problems in some towns or cities, and they were maybe not fixed or needed some repair or was buzzing and humming. So
but better to take.
When I have my own gear, it's much more reliable.
Cool. All right. Last question. Do you have any we know about your classic influences, but do you have any newer guitarists or thing that you're following that you like, interested?
I usually just listen to the classics. Now I've been listening a lot of Tommy Emmanuel, and he's an acoustic guitar player, and
check that out.
He's really good.
All right. Well, time is up. Thanks again for taking this time. I guess you're off to the next interview. Have a nice day. And nice talking to you.
Thank you, and have a good day as well.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right.
See ya.
You might find that you are not so